Hey everybody, it's me Stacy here at Scrapbooking Made Simple, scrapbookingmadesimple.com, and this is our next Saturday with Stacy. Oh, look at they're walking behind. This is our next Saturday with Stacy YouTube class number 502. I wonder who it is. Wait a minute, I'm gonna hold on. Oh, okay. So if you order from us, you know that we usually use a lot of chipboard to make sure that your order is packaged well and doesn't get damaged. That's the chipboard delivery. Yep. All right, you guys, so it's me, Stacy, Scrapbooking Made Simple, scrapbookingmadesimple.com, and this is our next Saturday with Stacy YouTube class number 502. If you are watching me during the premiere of our class, you will notice a live chat going on. By all means, type away, come say hello. We love meeting new people. Now, if you're new to my channel, welcome. Thank you so much for stopping by. You will find that I am unscripted, unedited, and that my classes on Saturdays are full length and technique based. And there they go. We go through a lot of chipboard here. We want to make sure that if you have anything that could bend, we sandwich it in chipboard. And then you guys save the chipboard and use it for your crafts, which works for me. So my classes are unscripted, unedited, and full length, generally technique based. And we try to just show you lots of ways to use product that may be new to the market while also incorporating things you may already have in your crafty stash. Today is a big class. It is a big class. And I have a brand new manufacturer to us. I have a manufacturer that we are just learning more and more about and loving them more and more. I can't even, they're just, both of them are simply wonderful. So today it is AALL Create. Our new manufacturer is AALL Create. They are out of the UK. They do stamps, they do stencils, and they are amazing. I met them in Germany, and they are my people. I have found my people. They so get me. And wait till you see the samples they did. If you watch this class for nothing else but to see the samples at the end of the class, it will be well worth your time. For sure. I'm gonna be playing with a few of their stamps and a few of their stencils, but the other company that we're featuring today is Jacquard. I also met them at the Creativation Show 2 years ago, not this past one, but the one before that. And again, they are more thought of as a fine art company, but the product they have is so stellar and so amazing and works with any kind of, they have things for any kind of crafter, whether you be a fine artist or you just want to use the best product that's on the market. Because really that's what fine art means. It's not the talent level of the person using the product. No, it's the level of quality that the product actually is. So I'm gonna do winner chicken dinner because I've got my two winners, and then we're gonna talk for a few minutes because I need to talk to you a little bit about the product from Jacquard, and then we are going to start. But this is going to be a technique after technique after technique. And can you do some of the things that I'm going to do with other types of products? Yes, absolutely. Do you need to own all of this? Only if you really want it. If it speaks to you, if it's in your crafty budget. I just want to show you things that you may be able to do with product you already own, and maybe add in a few things if some of this speaks to you, or give you a new way of looking at a product that you hadn't thought of before. That's what we're all about here at Scrapbooking Made Simple. That's why manufacturers come here to see me, not because they want to sell me something. They want to see what I'm going to do with their product. They literally set an appointment, fly here, bring a suitcase full of their products with no intention of trying to pitch it to me to buy, because they know they can't. I have to either like it or I don't. They put it on the table and they sit back with their notepad and watch what I do with it. And so it's amazing what some of this product will do, and I'm so excited. So let me get to the winner chicken dinners, because we always pick 2 winners every single week. And if you want a chance to be a winner chicken dinner, all you have to do is post a comment below. Anything that's kind, just say something as simple as, hi, how you doing? That will work. If your comment is kind, we approve comments on Wednesdays or Thursdays, and then we have a software that randomly selects 2 of you. Every week, 2 of you have a chance for a $25 gift card. And today that, especially on the Piñata inks, oh my gosh, you're gonna get a nice selection for your 25 bucks for sure. So, our first winner chicken dinner who left a comment on our last YouTube, 501, and it was approved because it was something we could approve, is Leah Boozer. Hello, Leah, how are you doing? You are a winner chicken dinner today. Wahoo kachoo for you. I bet you are very excited. And look at, there's a check mark up there, so your money is already in your account. Go spend it. But you're not our only winner chicken dinner, Leah. No, we always have 2. Our second one is Daphne Griffith. Hello, Daphne Griffith. How are you? I'm loving that I could pronounce both of your names without too much trouble. Yay. Daphne, is that you? Are you excited? Are you doing the happy dance? Are you like, whoop, and there's the check mark, so your money's already in there. Are you like, are you and Leah rewinding? And or if you're watching this live, you can go back. If you're watching this during our premiere, you can go back. You just can't go forward. So are you rewatching it and rewatching it and rewatching it, Leah and Daphne? Have you called your significant other or your fur babies or your kids over to say, oh, she called my name? I hope so. I hope you're as excited as we are when we hear from you that you were a winner chicken dinner. Sometimes we get calls, oh my gosh, and it just makes our heart so happy here. All right, so for the both of you, we do have to do the winner chicken dinner dance. Are you ready? You're a winner chicken dinner. You're a winner chicken dinner. Wahoo, kachoo. For you. Congratulations to the both of you. I hope you find something that is just amazing that you get to add to your crafty arsenal. Enjoy. Now, okay, last time I forgot to show you samples, so I'm going to try not to do that this time. I'm going to show you samples of what we're going to be working on, but then I'm going to come back and I'm going to talk to you, because we do need to have a talk. I want to have a talk about the Piñata Alcohol Inks from Jacquard. They are different. And you're like, how can they be different? Alcohol ink is alcohol ink. Yes and no. So, and let me tell you, I spent quite a bit of time on the phone talking with Hunter and a few emails back and forth, I think with Alex at Jacquard, because I could see the difference. There's no question, you will see the difference when I show them to you. But I wanted to understand what it is I was seeing. So let me tilt on down. Let me show you some samples of some of the product we're going to be using, and then I'm going to come back up and we're going to talk for just a minute about the Jacquard alcohol inks. Now, if this is the premiere, I'm so sorry you can't fast forward. But if you're watching this after our premiere, and you'll know because there'll be no live chat over here, then you can absolutely fast forward. And when you see me tilt my camera down, because I'm not high tech, I don't have an above camera and a front camera and when you see me, I do it myself, tilt my camera down, then you know we've started the class and you can just bypass all of my yakety yak. But if you want to know more about the product, my yakety yak is a little important this time. Okay, so let me tilt on down and show you some samples. Okay, let me zoom on in. I'll put my glasses on and zoom on in. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Zoom, zoom, zoom. I think that's good, yeah. And somebody is trying to buzz me. Let me tell them that I am currently busy. Okay, wait a minute. All right, let me tell them that I'm currently busy. And let me show you samples. Don't mean to be rude, but I'm a little busy. I've got a class to teach. So whoever you were, sorry. Look at how beautiful is that. But then I have here, ooh, right? Let's see if I can turn my light up just a little bit too, just to get a little bit more. There we go. Yay. And then I have here. That's darling, right? Okay. So let me put these aside, and then let me go on back and let me tilt up one more time just so we can talk a little bit about the Piñata inks. So we are working with alcohol inks today, and there are oodles of alcohol inks on the market. Ranger Tim Holtz makes alcohol inks. Couture Creations, who we generally carry, makes alcohol inks. And then there's the Jacquard brand of alcohol inks. Now, these are not new to the market. They have been in existence for quite some time and are very, very popular with people who are working in mixed media, or the tumblers, people who do the tumblers. They're very, very popular with people who are working on solid surfaces like tiles or glass or metal. And all I thought all alcohol inks were made the same. And it turns out they're not. And I learned something new. I got a wrinkle in my brain, because every time you learn something, you get a new wrinkle in your brain. So when Asher approached me and said, hey, how about our alcohol inks? I said, hey, I appreciate it, but we do carry the brand from Couture Creations. And he said, totally respect that. I get it, but ours are a little different. And I said, really? And he said, actually, yes. And I said, okay, let's talk. So what makes a Piñata alcohol ink different than, let's say, a Ranger or a Couture Creation? It's not so much that it's, well, I'm going to let you decide if it's better or just different. Sometimes different doesn't mean better, it just means different. For you, you may say, oh, that's different and it's better, but I'm going to leave the judgment up to you. Piñata alcohol inks are made with ethanol, not with isopropyl. So your Ranger inks and your Couture Creation inks are made with an isopropyl alcohol. And that is how I have always known alcohol inks to be made. That is how I've known them to be made. So when Asher and then Hunter said, no, these are made with ethanol, I'm like, ethanol? What? And they said, yes, there's a reason that we did them with ethanol. And I'm like, I didn't even know you could do them with ethanol. And they said, oh, yes. He said, we absolutely could make our alcohol inks with isopropyl, and then they'd be very comparable to the Ranger and the Couture Creations inks. But let me explain to you why we didn't. It seems that ethanol is not so much an additive, but I guess isopropyl and ethanol would be considered like a carrier, a way to make the ink, the dye-based ink, move, as opposed to just being solid dye-based ink. And the isopropyl doesn't necessarily become the same as the dye-based ink, but when you add an ethanol ink into it, or an ethanol alcohol, the substance almost becomes one and the same. The dye and the ethanol blend to where it's almost one and the same. The ethanol also allows for the dye to have more in the bottle. It takes less ethanol to do the same thing, or to move the ink or become one with the ink, as isopropyl. So you will see that because there's more ink, actual ink in the bottle, the colors are more vibrant. It is kind of like, I guess a good way to do an analogy would be when we did Pearl X. Love Pearl X. Pearl X is also by Jacquard. There's Ranger's Perfect Pearl, absolutely. And with Pearl X, we have to add gum arabic into the Pearl X to add as a binder, whereas the Ranger product already has the gum arabic mixed on in. So when you buy a jar of Ranger Perfect Pearl, it's got the pigment, the mica powder already mixed in with the binder. But when you buy a jar of Pearl X, it's 100% pigment, and you have to add a little bit of binder. And that's kind of like these inks. It requires less ethanol, and so therefore you get more ink, more dye in the bottle, which gives you a much more vibrant color, and you use substantially less ink. Now, I was talking to them today, and they're like, I said, so we used one drop can go so far. And they're like, yep. Not the best for a business model because you're going to have these for quite some time before you run out of them. But the fact is, the price is comparable to Rangers and to Couture Creations, and yet you get more for your money because you use less. So the ethanol in it is a very big difference. It changes everything about these inks. And I think when you put them side by side between a Ranger or a Couture Creations, you will be able to see the difference. And I hope I'm able to explain the difference to you when you see it, because I didn't get it until I started to play with them. And then I realized just how intense these colors can be, but they can be softened. And they have a product that is called an extender. The extender is different than they have a cleanup solution and an extender. It's just different. So I'm going to work with those today, but I wanted you to know, do you have to have these? No. If you have alcohol inks that you're happy with, keep to them, use them until you're out, and then you might want to look at the Jacquard Piñata inks. Can they work together with your current alcohol inks? Yes, they can. You can absolutely blend them together without a problem. Yes, with the exception of really one, which is the white. You can't use an isopropyl blending solution with the white. You need to use their blending solution, which is made out of ethanol, but we'll get there. So I'm gonna start by showing you the AALL Create stamps, and we're gonna play with those for just a little bit, and then we're gonna go technique after technique after technique. And I hope that you take something away from this class that you can then use in your own crafting experience today, tomorrow, next week. And when you're out looking at product, I had no idea that an alcohol ink could be made with ethanol. But now that I see why it is, these will be the alcohol inks that we move forward with, because they are different. And for us, I think they might be better. So I'm going to tilt on down. We're going to get started for today. Thanks for letting me explain, because I think you need to know. Sometimes too much information is too much information, but sometimes no information is bad too. You need to be able to make an informed decision on what works for you. And it's my job to give you that informed decision. All right, so I'm going to tilt on down. We're going to get started for today. And I think we're going to start with the AALL Create stamps. So let me zoom back on in. Now, Asher, if I said something wrong, I apologize. I did the best I could trying to understand it in my non-chemist layperson. All right, so I've got a couple sets from AALL Create, and they're just darling. I love this one. So it's got the the light bulb, and then all the little extras will fit in the center of that light bulb. And you have your option. You can have your light bulb going this way. You can have your light bulb going that way. But then they also did the jar. So you've got a jar with all the cute little things that can go in the jar. Look at, isn't that a great detailed stamp? And what they were so smart to do was to make sure that the little icons, the little fish and the little lighthouse and the little heart could also fit in the jar. And the little hearts up there and the little rose, these and the little stars and moons can all fit in the light bulb. Everything between these two sets are interchangeable. Yay, love that. And that's where we're going to start today. I also will be working probably with two other sets. I've got the all over background of the butterfly and then the smaller. Again, I love these. They're beautiful, and I think that there's a reason for both of them depending on what size you're doing. But I think the first place we're going to start is perhaps with our jar and our light bulb. So let me take off my liner and pull my light bulb, or my jar. All right, there we go. And let's grab some white paper. No, this way. And a block. So you may have a stamp positioner. That's going to work great for you. I've got my little block. Now I haven't stamped with this one yet, and I may need to stamp off a couple times to get my stamp looking great. I'm going to use the Jacquard color pad this time. This is a waterproof ink, which means it works well with alcohol inks. If you're using alcohol ink pens, I'm going to ink up. And I might have to stamp it once or twice to get a really good image, but just because I haven't stamped with this yet. So for me, with a bigger stamp, I'm just going to put it upside down and kind of do a little back massage. I don't want to press too hard because I've got that big opening in the center. And we'll see what I get. And if this doesn't work, then I will flip it around and stamp my other way. I think that's good. Oh, for a first stamp, that's not so bad. Let's ink it up again, and I'll do the back side, and then we can pick one over the other. So lots of good ink. And this time I'll stamp it the other way. So I'll put it on my gush pad, which we have been able to reorder. I don't know how long it will take for my gush pads to come back in, but I was able to place an order. This is the first time in 3 years. Yay! So I'm going to put it down, and I'm going to give nice all over pressure. Now again, if you have a stamp positioner, you're able to use that. It's whatever works for you. Oh, that one's not bad either. You know, I'm going to say they're both pretty good. That one's a little bit better. Okay, so I've got my first stamp of my jar. Now it's up to me, what do I want to fill my jar with? Love the little hearts. They're super cute. And you even have some little sentiments here. Handle with care. Let's see. Catch a falling star. A jar full of love. So I love my little hearts. Now the ink that I'm using is definitely going to stain the stamp. And I'm okay with that because for me, it's hard to see a clear stamp when I turn it this way to see how I'm pushing down. If the ink doesn't, if I can't see where the ink is, it's hard for me to see the stamp because it's clear. So I'll be able to get some of this ink off, but it is going to stain the stamp, and that's all right. The black isn't going to transfer next time you use it. It just makes it easier for you to see it. So let's pull this one off. And let's put my little hearts in. In fact, I can use a smaller block than that. And let's put my little hearts in my jar. One, two, three, A, B, C, and up. So cute. Little hearts in my jar. And then I can put my sentiment over here. But if I wanted to, I could take my little fish. Oh, the fish would be cute in the jar too. Let's do the jar one more time. And you choose how you want to do it, on the block or not. Do I have enough room? Yes. Ink it up. So all the samples we have been made with the jar and the light bulb and the butterflies. And then we've added a few extra items to the YouTube Yummies so that we brought in a few more sets of theirs, but I'll show you those at the end. Okay, so ink up. Give a good press, all over pressure. Doing this in the center is not going to help you. If this doesn't work for you, you can do a nice little back massage. All right, you ready? I think that's good. Yep, we're good. Okay, so now I've got 2 jars. And I'm going to take that little fish out of my light bulb because he's so cute. The little fish is so cute. And let's add him in. And again, I don't need to use that big block. In fact, I might be able to get away with a small. You think that's, oh, he fits just by a hair of a chinny chin chin, but let's see if we can get him to stamp. And again, haven't inked him up before, but we'll give it a whirl and see what happens. Do we want him going down? Where do we want him? Okay, press and up. All right, he's in our jar. Got our cute little fish and got our cute little hearts. Now, typically I would pull out perhaps colored pencils or watercolor pencils to color these, but not today. Today I'm going to be using alcohol inks to color these. And it's a little different than what you might be used to doing, but it's easy to do, and it's just another option on how to use your alcohol inks. So let's put these back and let's grab a color of ink. All right, so and I'm gonna grab my little mats. So these are from Woodware. They're my ink blending mats. We are expecting our order of these either Monday or Tuesday, so everybody who has them on order will be able to start filling then. We ordered a ton of them, so I'm able to put them back on a YouTube. This is a big size. I took it and cut a full size one down into 3 individual sizes because you just never know what size you're going to want to use, or you can take one, cut it in half, and share it with a friend. I find them to be very, very, very useful, and I don't know why I didn't come up with the idea on my own. I think I'm going to use the smaller, the 6. There we go. So I'm going to take my alcohol inks, and I think the most important thing to tell you is that less is more with the Piñata inks, without question. Less is definitely more. It doesn't, do we want to use coral or do we want to use pepper? It doesn't take a lot to use. Your biggest asset is going to be their clear extender. So basically what is in this bottle is the exact thing in this bottle, only without a color added to it. So this one is called pepper. This is your clear extender. Same thing in both jars. They just didn't add the dye in here. What they've used is clear that allows you to have this extend the color out. It doesn't necessarily, when you drop it, it doesn't make like the psh that you generally see using a blending solution. You can get that absolutely when you use the cleanup. You can drop it and all of a sudden you'll get those little circles and things like that. This lets you dial down the color or change the color. You can keep this as strong and as fully pigmented as it is, or using the extender, you can change it and have that gradation of color. It is amazing, and it takes very, very little. So if I put, let's see, a little drop, that's a little drop, and then I add a little bit of my extender. See, it doesn't make that, let me see if I can go down. It doesn't make that blob, that opening that you normally see with a blending solution. What it's doing is it's diluting the color with the same chemicals that the ink is made up out of, the alcohol ink is made up out of. So it's allowing me to just dilute. And I can keep adding and adding and adding to make my color. Now, is this the color I want to use? In fact, let's grab a piece of paper. So I've diluted this one. But there's the color full strength. Big difference. And I can dilute more. This really, the extender really becomes the tool that makes everything work. It gives you so many additional colors. And I'm doing literally a drop at a time. And as I thin it out, then it's starting to push the ink away. See, did I even get lighter? And a drop at a time, that's all you need, is a drop at a time to thin that color out. Now, so far I've only used, 2 drops of alcohol ink? I'm trying to get it as thin as I can. 1, 2, maybe I do 2 drops at a time. Ooh. And when I say thin, I mean I want to change the color. So it's almost like your water when you're doing watercolor. I think that's about as light as I'm going to get it to go. But you can definitely see that the color changes the more you add. It doesn't push the color away. It wants to become part of the color. So let's do one more drop. And then I can go in and I can paint. And just paint my little hearts. Add a drop if it starts to dry up. Now you can do this with watercolor inks, you can do this with colored pencils, however you want to do your coloring. But now you see that you can actually paint with your alcohol inks as well. And I've added more of the extender, but I haven't added more drops of ink. I'm just doing a drop at a time of extender, picking it up and putting my color down. I'm just picking it right up off my little palette and putting my color down. And because it is alcohol ink, you don't get any of the lines, blending lines. Now I've pretty much got one color going on there. Pretty much all the same hue, the same tone. This is where you can go in and add a little bit more color. A little bit more color. There, done. See, enough. Finished. One little drop. And you can go back in and paint in. That was a lot. That was a lot of ink. Ooh, that's a lot of ink, Stacy. One little drop goes a really long way. Paint in your shadow and your highlight. I can go back in and add some of that darker tone. If I need to lighten up, I can just have a little bit of this off to the side. But less is definitely more, without question. You don't want to have a whole bunch of drops on your palette. And you're just blending it right on in. Need another little drop over here? Put another little drop. At a drop at a time, you're going to have a long life with definitely the alcohol inks. The thing you'll go through most is their extender, because it lets you graduate that shading. And in I go. So now I've added some shading. Do I want to add more shading? It's up to me. I always want to start with my lightest color, my lightest gradation of color in whatever ink that I'm using, because then I can go back and add darker. If I started dark to begin with, I can't go back and add the lighter. It's impossible. So you always want to start with your lightest color first, and then go back in if you want to add a little more depth. And again, because it's an alcohol ink, the ink dries without those marker lines. So it's a nice smooth blend. And I think that looks okay. Let's do the fish and see what we get with the fish. Now to clean my brush, I absolutely can take just and I don't think I grabbed any. That's water, that's water. You can grab just some regular hand sanitizer. And that will clean your brush right on out. No reason to use the extender solution. I'm not trying to extend, I'm just trying to clean. And I can do the same thing for my inks. Now, could I use hand sanitizer if I wanted to use it as my extender? You can, but it will act a little differently. It will make those little drops and it will push the ink out, as opposed to changing the color of the ink and diluting it down. It's a little different. So let's find a sun bright yellow. Should we start with that on my little guy? So I've got my little fish and that's a lot of drop. That's a big drop. That was one drop. And I'm gonna put a little extender and I'm gonna mix the two. I'm gonna add a little more extender because I did. See, can you see how the extender isn't making that very noticeable drop in the center, but it's changing and diluting the main color. Let's grab another piece of paper. Can't do it on that one because that one is the back. And let's see. And this is just cardstock. I'm not using any kind of specialty paper right now. I'm just using cardstock. We're painting on straight cardstock. Okay, so let's do one drop over here. There, that's a drop. And let's go in and grab it so you can see the full color. There's the full color of the yellow. And then here, I was adding some extender to it because I made a big drop. And let's see if I can get that. A little bit more, another drop. And every time I add a drop, it's changing my color just a bit. Right? Pretty cool. The colors are so intense because of the amount of dye that's in the bottle. And the reason they're able to get that much dye in the bottle is because they're using an ethanol-based alcohol. So let's come in here and color him a little bit yellow. And I'm not trying to color every little nook and cranny because that's not the only color I'm going to play with. But can you see how much I know it's just a drop, but I feel guilty that I'm not using that drop. Now let's see if we can find an orange. Here's tangerine. Let's see what color tangerine looks like. And a drop. There. You're like, really? That little? Yes, that little. Little bit of my extender. Let's see what we get. So now I'm just going right over a little bit of my yellow, leaving a little bit of yellow there. So here I am right now. And I just went in and kind of scribbled wherever. And then maybe a little bit of extender. You're almost using your extender like water, but you're using it a drop at a time. Take that yellow. And maybe we go in, it's a little intense. Let's add a little intense yellow. A little intense yellow. And I'm just using it almost as I would a watercolor. Only this is an alcohol-based product. And I am doing it on regular paper and nothing special. So there's my fish, and now let's go in with some more intense orange. So I could add another drop. Drop. Let's just intensify him just a little bit. And I even blended, I didn't clean my brush, so my yellow and my orange are kind of blended together. And I am A-okay with that because those are the colors that I'm using. And there's my fish. I used very little of anything. My bottle doesn't even look like it's been touched yet because it's a drop at a time. A drop at a time. Let's see if we can do, I'm not going to use the good stuff. I'm going to clean this. Gosh, I feel guilty doing that, but. So clean off my blending mat. And let's see if we can do a little bit of maybe just a little bit of water. Really thin though, really thin. What's my lightest blue that I've got here? How about Baja blue or teal or no, not rainforest green. Or aqua, how about aqua? Okay, that I feel like, okay. You're like, you gotta have some ink on there. I know, but, oh, not that, I don't want that. I want my extender. Oh, I still got lots of yellow in here. Look at that. I didn't clean my brush. clean my brush a little bit. All right, let's try again. I still got a little yellow going on in there, but a little bit more extender. You're like, but there's no color there. I don't see any color. It's that intense. It's that strong that even you not seeing any color, there's color there. I don't know when I've ever used so little product to do something, where literally a drop does you. Maybe do a little, ooh, that's a lot. That's a lot, that's a lot. Okay. So I think he's good. The inks are easy to use as long as you keep in mind less is more. And being that you can mix and match with your AALL Create stamps, it just makes things easy. Do you have alcohol inks? Do you use them as much as you should, or as you thought you would, or as you wanted to? Now you have the opportunity to play with them. Can I be sure that your alcohol inks will do exactly the same? No, I can't, but it's only paper. All you can do is try. I'm just going to take all of this and I'm just going to go straight up, maybe add a little bit more. Just kind of blend around. To almost a very, very light top. And maybe just a little bit more blue. Down towards the bottom. So when I say less is more, now you understand what I'm talking about. You can see how little product I am actually using. And they're cute. So this one had a little more yellow in it because I had a little yellow in my paintbrush. This one, not so much. The stamps are super easy to use, and so effective. Let's clean this one out. But then I said we have some stencils. Can we use our alcohol ink with stencils? Let's grab Ooh. I think I'm going to play with these two. So let's grab some paper. And again, I'm sticking with just white paper. That's it, just white paper. I think I'm going to use that as my... when I need just a bit of white paper. Here we go. All right, so they have 4 stencils. They don't necessarily layer, but they don't not layer either. You can absolutely use these in conjunction with each other, and wait till you see the sample with this one. Oh my gosh, we did an alcohol ink background and that one just went so perfectly. So love their stencils. And you can use them together, but they are not meant to necessarily layer on top of each other. You just kind of manipulate them to get what it is you're looking for. I think I'm going to start here. Or not. I see the opening, it's right there. There we go. Oh! So what if, so do I want my, what color do I want my rays? And do I want to tape this down, or am I just going to go for it? Maybe I should tape it down, or should I just go for it? I've got some of the Spellbinders craft tape here. How about just a little piece? Don't go over the stencil, Stacy. How about just a little piece here? And a little piece down here. So, typically when we use alcohol inks, the blending piece that we use is felt. Tim Holtz has them, Ranger has them for your little dauber, and it typically is a piece of felt at the end of it. For something like a stencil, I'm not going to use the felt. I'm going to go back to my trusty dusty old foam. My trusty dusty old foam. Now doing this, less again is more. You want to have less, you don't want this to be so wet, because water, any kind of solution, is going to want to seep through the stencil and go underneath the stencil. So you don't want to have too much going on. What colors do we want our rays? Do we want to start with a golden yellow? Let me go back just a little bit. So let's start with the golden yellow and let's see what we get. Now I can choose to put my golden yellow right on my little doop doop, right on my sponge, and add a little bit of extender. Oh, don't get all over me. And I kind of need it to soak on in. So I might take a piece of paper and kind of get it going. I don't want it to be too wet because I don't want it to go underneath. So if I come in here, it's not too wet anymore. It shouldn't, don't think it should go underneath. I can add a little extender here. And you're just using that extender right on your little mat. A drop at a time. I haven't added any more ink. I just keep using that extender. It's going to desaturate. The more extender I use, the less my yellow will be that bright, sharp yellow. And if I decide I want to add a little more yellow back, I can either put it right down here and go in and pick it up and come in. But I'm not using my felt to do this. I'm using my foam. The felt isn't going to get down into the stencil enough. Now I've got a lot of yellow going on there, so a little extender to help me pick it up and stencil away. Now for you, you may say, oh, I have my ink cubes, I'm good. But are you using all your product enough? Did you know that you could do this with your alcohol inks? You think I've got it? Ooh, Stacy. Think I've got it enough? All right, so I've got some yellow going on. Now I can choose to come back and see, I still have all of that. I can choose to come back and use a different color. Okay, let's use this orange. I have no idea what color orange it is, but we're gonna go for it. I have my tangerine here too. So just in case, we'll try our tangerine. This looks like a dark orange. Ooh. And I'm not going to change my pad because, well, they're just going to blend into each other, so. And I'm not working on any special paper. I think that's super important to know. A little more blender, a little more orange. Drop. Drop. Do you have colors in your alcohol inks that you love, love, love? And wished you had them in a regular dye-based ink so you could use them? Well, now you do. Ink should really be about what color makes your heart happy and will it work for the project you're doing. Could I use pigment ink to do this? Yes. Would it take a while for it to dry? Yes, but could I do it? Sure. Think I'm good? Maybe some of that tangerine. What if I took some of that and some of that yellow? Is that my yellow? And a little bit of my solution. And blended them together. Ooh, that's so pretty. So up to you how you want to get your stenciling done. But I wanted to show you that you have the option. You have the option of using alcohol inks with a stencil. And it can look beautiful and blended and ombre'd. It can. And then what you do with it is up to you next. But this is just plain paper and a sponge. Where's the other one? Let's see, put this here. Where, and I'm gonna put those here. Where's my other one? I love this one. Love this stencil. So I'm gonna change my colors, so I'm gonna change my pad. And let's pull this one out. Close enough. And let's take some of my tape. I can take my tape right off this one and put it here and here. And you know what? I am going to put that pad back on, and we're going to use some of the rest of this yellow. I'm going to use what's left on my little palette here. And I'm just going to come in all over the place. A little bit more to pick up. And I'm just going to go for it. And now all I'm doing is picking up all that ink that was left and putting it down. All right, so now I don't feel so bad. I used almost everything that was there. Now I'm gonna change my pad, and let's pick out a pretty blue. Sapphire blue, sounds good to me. Drop. Drop. New pad. Ooh, that's very blue. Don't want to have too much on there. And I'm just going right over that yellow. A little bit more to pick up the last of it. And I think I want a few more to be as blue as those top are, so I'm going to add just another little drop. Ooh, that's a big drop. Go in and have some of them really blue. So it's all how you play. Oh, see, I bet that one bled through because I had too much solution on it. All right, so let's finish this one up and move on. Oh, yay. Not so bad. I'm pretty happy with that one. Love it. That makes my heart happy. So far, we have painted with the alcohol inks, which are ethanol based, and we've stenciled with the alcohol inks. Now, let's get into some different papers. Put this one over here, and let's get into some different papers. Let me clean this off, because this is where you're really going to see a noticeable difference in the alcohol inks. Clean off my little blending mat. And again, that's not full size. This is full size. And for those of you who already have it on order, they should be delivering here anytime. So we will start filling those orders once they deliver. For now, I'm going to play with a translucent alcohol ink paper. This is by Couture Creations. And it is a synthetic paper, so it is very much like a Yupo style paper. We have it in, we have a 5x7 synthetic paper, similar to a Yupo. We've got it in in fact, this one even says Yupo, a white paper. We've got it in a white adhesive that has adhesive on the back, and we've even got it in black. But for today I'm really going to play with the translucent paper. It is not a vellum. It looks like a vellum, but it is not. And it behaves differently than a vellum. This is a synthetic paper. It is almost like a plastic. It cuts like a plastic, it feels like a plastic, but instead of being a solid color, it's got that beautiful translucent to it. And this is where you're going to see a dramatic difference in the alcohol inks. So let me put that over there. Oh, and Claire wanted me to show you, before I do this, Claire wanted me to show you that on your stencils, you can absolutely, see if I can find where it lined up. Is that it? Okay, Claire wanted me to show you, because she did one of these on her samples, is that you can then take a marker nib side, and you can go in and she's going to be better at this than I am, but you can, in fact, I wanted something even thinner than that. You can go in and trace around. Oh yeah, that's much better. This is just a Sharpie. Much better. So if you want those stars to pop even more, see, this was with the alcohol with Ozzie Andrews. The nib was too thick. Look at him now. Much better. Yes, she did some where she just traced and they came out so good. Okay, Claire, I showed them. You'll show them with your sample. Who knows? Maybe we'll come back to that. Okay, so my synthetic translucent paper. All right, so this is where you're going to see a huge difference in the ink. So here, let's do a drop. Really dark color. Now let's add some of our Now it doesn't make the color go pshh, but it starts to dilute the color. And the thing about it is that really, that one drop, I can add another drop here and add another drop there, and I can continually make this run just by adding little drops of my, yes, extender. To make it run. Now remember, the color was super dark. And just moving that around, you're going to get a super dark color. But the minute you introduce the extender, now I don't know many alcohol inks where the colors are this vibrant. And it's because of that ethanol that they're able to then take, do I want aqua? That ethanol allows them to use more dye and less alcohol, less ethanol. If this was isopropyl, you would have less dye in your bottle and more isopropyl. Let's do another color. It's the extender that is going to make your heart happy. And look at it run. And if I want it to run more, I add more. But as I'm adding it, it's not doing that psh thing. And I can move it and change it. I could take my little blower and blow it on out. I like that aqua again. Where's that aqua? That aqua was pretty. That's this one. And I want you to notice the gloss, because that gloss really doesn't fade away. That gloss stays. So it's up to me how much I want to move it, by how much extender I add. See, it didn't make those big drops. It just makes it move again. And flow into each other. Which is different than what we've had before. And you just let it be. I could do this for hours, literally hours. Unlike the what they call, is it the cleaner fluid that they call it? They're calling this their cleaner fluid. Now if I drop that in, that starts the separation of color and those big dots that you get. See, look at how that, see what that's doing? The extender doesn't do that. Woo. You can absolutely use the cleaner fluid or isopropyl or your hand sanitizer to get that look. But the extender is what lets you get the differentiating colors, the gradation of colors. Oh, wrong one. And lets you move it. It just is beautiful. The vibrancy of the colors is amazing. And I could just sit here and roll this around and roll this around and roll this around until I'm happy. And knowing me, I would add so much. I like it. I just like to play and watch the colors move and swirl. So what makes this different than other alcohol inks is the ethanol base in it, allowing you to have more of the dye. So you use less and you start with more vibrant colors. Nothing wrong with the isopropyl alcohol inks. They're perfectly fine. Absolutely. I'm going to let this one dry and we'll move on and do another one. So let's start with a color that's really dark. Let me find the purple. I know that purple is super dark. And when they were explaining it to me, that was one of the explanations, is that you need to have the extender. This becomes, and I still have used, I mean, I'm still on my same bottle and I've been using it again and again and again and again. The extender becomes your primary tool. Okay, that is really dark. That is really dark. Look at the colors you get. Oh, as that extender hits it. Oh, Stacy. Let's get some right in some of those really dark spots. And let's go this way. And a little bit more in those really dark spots. And let's go this way. So now I've almost dissolved. I had those really dark lines and I've almost dissolved them. I've added so much extender. See how dark that is? And we can start rolling it out. I can take it up and add a little extender and just start watching it roll on down. It's a different type of blending solution because it's a different type of alcohol ink. We started with a color that was almost that dark. And we've lightened it. And then what color do we want to go in with it? Oh, I spilled. And that blue. Oh, let me go back. That blue is going to start to move and roll and blend with the help of that extender. A drop and it rolls. A drop and it pushes into. A drop and it moves again. A drop and it opens it up. And you just go. And it's on this beautiful translucent paper that just elevates everything. Let me go back a little bit. So what if we come back in with our purple there? And what if I come back in with that teal? I think I'll lose the color in the teal. So I've got so much ink on here. We're just going to make it start to move. Now, do you have to roll it? No. See, I've got that hard line right there. I just want to get rid of that hard line. I've got a hard line right there. I just want to get rid of that hard line. Got a hard line. And then there's the mixatives. I lost my green. Put my green back. Kind of roll a little bit of my green. Take it and move some of my green. So then you have the metallic colors that you can throw in here. And the metallic colors are equally as strong. The metallic colors are bright and vibrant, and they're just amazing. They've got gold and brass and copper and silver, and then they have what was the magic sauce for marabou. It's an opal color. And move it and let it move into, and yes, you can add, look at the color. See, the gold is blending with that purple. It's mixing into it. not just sitting on top. It's becoming, it's blending with the color. It's amazing. And yes, you can add a little bit of your extender to make it move. And yes, you can add color right on top and just keep playing. There is no right and there is no wrong. It's just do it. And because you get so much of the color in the bottle, a little goes such a long way. Just let it run. So let's let that one sit for a minute. Here we are with the one I started. Probably still a little wet because I used a lot, but let's take it and let's cut another piece and let's do some yellows. Daisy, I just sat one on top of each other. Oh no. Okay. So I was not careful what I did and I put this one right on top. That means I need to go back in and fix this. I put my other piece right on top of there. Go in and fix it. And then it'll be like it never even happened. Like it never even happened. Can you see the gold flecks in there? And the color is strong. The gold is strong. It's not like oh, is there a hint of gold in there? No, you absolutely see it. And I can just let it run. And then let it dry. And it's mixed in. But this time I'm going to let it dry over here where I don't make a mess of it. Now you can take your heat tool, gently dry it with your heat tool because this is a paper synthetic, so it is more like a plastic than anything else. You don't want to buckle your paper for sure. Let's go in there and let's use some golden yellows. And maybe move that around just a little bit. See, and it just makes it run. And I can come back and add some more color. Same color, but it doesn't look like the same color, does it? And I can make this run and thin this out a little bit. so that I'm getting different tones of the same color. And then I can come in. Ooh, where's that red? Chili pepper, coral maybe? And see how it's blending into each other? And I can add a little bit and make it move. Where'd my yellow go? And how about that? What's this? This is, oh, that's the tangerine. This is the pepper. And make it move. And maybe a little bit more on my yellow. And you take it to the place where you're happy with it. You want to move it with your little blower? You can. Look at that though. My gosh, is that pretty. Do we want to add a beautiful color to it? Do we want to add some of that, maybe that opal or rich gold or brass, copper? Oh, I don't know. They're all so pretty. See, now that made it go psh. So where's my yellow? That's not it. Where's my yellow? Now you can see that copper starting to move. Oh, Stacy, that was a lot. I squirted that one, but that's okay. We're just gonna go. And let it move. And you can see that copper coming through and coming up. And then as it lays flat, those lines start to move away and start to blend out. What if we leave it like that? So pretty. And see, the metallic just is striking. And you use as much or as little as you like. Now, can you also do this? Let me put this one aside because it's going to take a while for this to dry. I've got a lot of ink on here. And in the meantime, Let's check and see how this one's doing. Right? And let's check and see how this one's doing. And if you want to, oh, no. Over here. Can you use a spouncer? Yes, absolutely. You can use a spouncer. So now I've got it for felt. So I've got a little, this is an Aussie Andrew Couture Creations alcohol ink blender, cute little hearts. Sure you can. You want to go in there and spounce it instead? Go for it. Put a little red on there. So now I've got both of them going, and the more I add, the stronger it's going to become. So a drop or two, no problem. And get that spounced look going, a little more yellow if I want. And get that spounce going. And make your more typical, I would say, alcohol ink look. And as it dries, the lines, everything kind of blends out. It just depends upon what it is that you want to do, what look you're trying to achieve. What color can we add in here? I'm almost afraid, but you know, no guts, no glory. What color do you think we should add? Ooh, we could add white. So their white is it Blanco white? It is the whitest white for alcohol inks. It's probably their most popular color. I don't know if I'm gonna like it spounced. But I like it like that. Can you see the difference when you're adding the white? See how it brightened everything? And then if I want, I can come back in and rich gold. What was I using before? Oh, I have two rich golds. Now I'm going to add that gold and let that gold kind of take over. Let that gold move. Come back in on itself. And if I want to blow it, I can blow it. And if I want to spounce it, I can spounce. So this is going to add a little gold here and there everywhere. It's going to kind of blend it into the color, but the best way to get the metallics down is to just let them go. Oh, see? That's good. Maybe I can show you that. Can you see around the outline where the gold, see the gold blended in to all of that color when I did it with the spouncer, but when I dropped color on it, can you see how the gold has now been pushed out around? It's just yummy. You end up sitting there making background after background because you just want to play. I started as a spounce. Now I've moved into a drip. And I think I'm just going to let it be. And see what we end up with. Can you see the flakes going and rolling and moving and all over? So it is definitely different because of the ethanol in it. It behaves different. It starts out as a much more intense color. And their extender does just that. It extends the color so you can dilute it down to get the color that you're looking for. And then let's take some of the, So now you can see the white really working. And mixing that white in. And look at what it does with the white. It's amazing. You have to just give yourself permission to play. It's all about the permission to play. And then I don't want the gold. Oh, I need to shake it. So this is the copper. Oh yeah, there we go. Permission to play. and a drop at a time. Just a drop. Oh gosh, I haven't even added any of that lately. A drop at a time to let it move and grow and change. And you move it forward and backwards and upside down until your heart is happy. I don't know that anybody else's alcohol inks can let you do literally a drop to get the intensity of color that you get with the Jacquard. And it goes on glass. Oh, 2 drops. Goes on glass, it goes on plastic, it goes on metal, it goes on paper, it goes on, well, anything non-porous, but then you saw that we used it on paper as well. Okay, well, I added some over there, so maybe I extend this out. And you have to decide when you're done. That is a problem for me. I will freely admit. That I could just drop and drop and drop until the whole paper's covered. There's nothing left of it. Look at it run. Look at that. And then you just let it be. And let it dry. So, let's see. Are we getting there on this one? We're almost dry on this one. Could I take my heat tool? I could. Keep it very high up and on low heat. And kind of help it along. And if you want to do embossing on top of this, that's how you're going to do it. Very low heat. Just to help it along. Now they do have the opal. Oh, see. This one's talking to me. They are absolutely talking to me. Okay, well, they do have the opal. So with the opal, let's start. What colors do we want to start with? Maybe some magentas. Oh, I have made, I just should have kept all the lids off of them. Maybe some magentas. So there's the magenta. Then we start to roll it. And you get to see all the other colors it can be. So if we do some magenta and some sunbright yellow. And look at how they've created that third color now. And maybe some of that aqua. Where was that light aqua? Oh, lime green. I don't know. What do you think? Lime green, yay, nay? I know. Decisions. A little more magenta over here. A drop at a time. What was that magenta? Was that this one? And you just let it be. And then let's get the opal. Let's get the opal and see what happens. So the opal is very much like a special sauce. Opal, where are you? Pearl, opal. Very much like a special sauce. When you put it on, you've got that shimmery, kind of sparkly. Now it does do the color so that it's going to kind of separate it. Get my ball out of the little area. And that opal's going to have that bluey iridescent-y look to it, and it comes in the big jar too. So the opal also comes in the big jar. Look at that color. Hello. And their extender comes in the big jar. Oh, so you can hear that. And then they've got these tools. Who would think you would ever want pipettes, right? Open. Wow, you guys got them down good. Look at that opal color. Can you see it? In the big jar. So let's get it off. There we go. I'm not going to take all of it. And then they've got these pipettes. Oh. Where you can take that opal and have yourself a field day with it. Love the pipettes. Oh, look at that. I don't want it to move too much. I like it the way it is. And then I can put back what I didn't use. Love the pipettes. We'll have the pipettes for sale. And just let it sit and do its thing. Do you want to move it a little more? Do you not want to move it a little more? You have options. How much do you want it to blend? I think I'm going to leave it I think I'm gonna add a little bit, maybe right there, or maybe I blow that right there. Thin it out a little. Can you see how wet I've got it? There is so much on here. I wonder what would happen if I took that. Shows you how wet it is. Look at that. And then maybe just a dollop of yellow right there. And then just a little dollop of opal right there. And let it be. And then I've got this one. Okay, let's dry these a little bit. So the opal and the extender come in big 4-ounce jars. Love it, love it. They also have something called a varnish. Now let me tell you about the varnish a little bit. I'm not going to show it today because it absolutely has to be in a well-ventilated room. And let's be clear, this is not a well-ventilated room. Not even close. Sorry, I just need to add a little more yellow. The varnish allows you to, once this is dry, lay a coat of that varnish down and then add more alcohol ink on top without affecting anything that's on your bottom layer. It is very cool, but it does have to be in a very well-ventilated room. No question about it. Do I still have a little bit of the... Oh, I sure do. I had a little more opal left. Look at that. So, they're an ethanol-based alcohol ink that is so vibrant that a little goes such a long way. And then yes, absolutely, you can stamp on top of them. Of course you can, using the right ink. So StazOn is going to be your best ink. I've got a few over here that we did the other day. Let's see, I have that one and I have that one. And let's see. Let's grab a stamp. Let's grab the butterfly stamps because the butterfly stamps are beautiful. Now I haven't stamped with these yet. So I'm going to ink it up and then I'm going to stamp off. And I want you to see, I'm going to stamp upside down and I want you to see why. So I'm going to use StazOn. I'm not going to use the color pad. Color pad will not dry. Not on this. It dried beautifully when we were doing these. Remember when we painted with the alcohol ink? It did magnificently when we were doing this because it's on a porous piece of paper. But when we're talking about non-porous, this isn't going to work. I need you to use StazOn because it stays on. So I'm going to ink this up and I'm going to stamp off just to make sure. Yay. Maybe I stamp off on a piece of this. because I want you to see what happens when you lay this on top. It's very much like a vellum. You can clearly see where you have put enough pressure or where you've put enough ink and where you haven't. There's no guessing here. Yep, see, I don't have enough ink there. Let's see if I can get it without. Oh, better. I can clearly see my stamped image. If I stamp normally, I can't see this. Holy smokes, artichokes. Look at the beautiful image. Okay, I'm gonna hold that. Let's do this one. So ink up. The little plastic that comes with your StazOn, you're gonna wanna cover, and it doesn't matter if you're using a full size or a midi, as long as any of the StazOn, jet black's gonna be your best. And let's lay it down and see the image comes through. Can you see that? The image comes through, so you know where to add your pressure and where you haven't added enough pressure. You can see where the stamp has transferred. Right? Now you've got to give your StazOn time to dry. But how stunning is that? AALL Create makes some darn beautiful stamps for sure. Let's see, do I have one that's dry? You think this one's almost dry? Let's take a heat tool. And let's just heat it just a little bit. All right, I'm going to use the high, and hopefully I don't buckle my... Don't want to buckle my paper. It feels good. Yes. Let's re-ink. It's got all those little flecks of gold going through this. All those little flecks of gold. So, ink up. And StazOn tends to be a bit sticky. It's a bit tacky. And that's how I am allowed to put the paper down on top of it, and it doesn't slip and it doesn't slide. So rub, rub, rub. See, my paper doesn't slip and slide because it's got that tack to it from the StazOn. And let's pull up. Oh, it might have been still a little wet. See? It might have been just a little wet still. Well, I can't go back and fix it, but I'm going to go with the distressed look of it. That's how we're going to look at it. This one, this one was completely dry. And you can see the image that I've got. So you can see why the alcohol ink has to be completely dry. Yeah, it came off a little bit there. Yeah, so we're gonna go with a vintage look on this one and be happy with it. Where's that smaller stamp? Here, let's play with the smaller stamp. And let's ink it up. And again, I haven't used this before, but I'm just going to go for it. Oh, yeah, beautiful. They're so pretty and so easy to do. That stamped off well. That did good. I'm happy with that one. Yay for that one. And then what if we took this and we flipped it over? Can't alcohol ink on the top once you've stamped with StazOn. No. What will happen? So alcohol ink is the same as StazOn. This is an alcohol-based product. So it doesn't matter whose alcohol inks you're using. If we stamp with StazOn, and then we take it, even if it's dry, even if it's dry, it will reactivate once you add some color to it. We pretty, oh yeah, we're good. So we're dry. Can you see? It's taking the black. Now that's a look. That is a look. But you can't, once you've stamped, you can't add the alcohol ink on top. You're just going to end up with a runny mess. But you can take it on the back side. more yellow. My yellow was all run into my other color. That's not what I want. So what do I want to do? It's not what I want. Do I want to leave it? Do I want to let it dry and then come back in? Fill up my space one drop at a time. Nope, it's going to be all yellow or all that one color because it's just blended too much. I have too much on there. Oh, look at how much ink I've got on there. Holy smokes, Stacy. Holy smokes. Oh, yeah. Okay. Oh, that's actually pretty. Drop some more color in there and maybe a little bit of, let's just blur it out a little bit. Oh, that's a lot. And I probably could still put another one on top of there. And so my less is more. Remember when I said less is more? I probably need to listen to myself. Let's see if I can get some of this dry. I'm just trying to thin my color. So I'm on the back side of my butterflies, and I'm just trying to thin some of that color out. All right, let's try it and see what happens. Now I know it's not dry. But we're going to go for it anyway. So if you stamp first, you have to color the back side. You can't color the top side. Top, if you alcohol ink first. Stamp, you do the back side. Two totally different looks. Both of them look great. Love the translucent paper. Love the translucent paper. All right, gosh, I don't even know what time it is. All right, so we've done an awful lot. The only other thing I think I really want to do is play with that white and start with white. So if I take that white, oh, I'm liking it. So my one that wasn't completely dry, I'm absolutely okay with it now. Yeah, I'm perfectly fine now that it's completely dry, and I love having the outside edge. Can you see that outside edge? Love that. Oh my gosh, yes. Okay, so I'm happy. I don't know that you, I should probably ask, are you happy? So the white, if I start with the white, and I put down several drops, and I kind of move it around. I think that's good. Kind of just move it around. I want to leave some positive space. I want to leave some negative space. I want something to be really white and something to not be that white at all. But I want to leave some translucent paper around it. Oh, my fingers are dirty. Oh, and they're getting on my pretty. And then I come in with that blue. What do we think this blue is the blue we want? And we let that blue run. And maybe I want a little darker blue. And we let those blues kind of run with that white. And you can add more white. To extend it. And you can add more solution to thin it. And you can add more color to grow it. And you just let that white act as that beautiful, soft. Gosh, I don't even know if I want to add any more. I think I might just let it run a little bit. Look at how it runs. Oh, I think I'm good with that. What do you think? Do we want to add a little bit of some copper since it's here? I'm just going to let it run from the top. Maybe a drop. Maybe just a little bit blue. So I want to leave some of that white space. I can add some more white back in it if I want more white. I can put some copper on that white. And look at what it does. And I just let it be. As I keep moving it. I love the white too. The white is strong and it's pronounced and it gives you an opportunity to change. Look at the shades. And now I need to let it be. I need to stop and say no more. What do you think? So we started way back when with the AALL Create, and we stamped and we colored and we used the alcohol inks. We stenciled with alcohol inks. Who would have thought, right? But then we really moved into the alcohol inks and we made the most beautiful, beautiful backgrounds. These are by Jacquard. They're different than the Ranger. They're different than Ozzie Andrews Couture Creations. The colors are more vibrant, they're more intense because it uses an ethanol as opposed to an isopropyl alcohol. So you get more dye in the bottle because you're using a different carrier. And the ethanol kind of becomes one with the dye, or the dye in the, the dye in the bottle, the alcohol ink. And the colors, I mean, oh my gosh. And there's with the rainbow. They call theirs opal. It just goes and goes and goes, and then you just let it be beautiful. Beautiful. Stamp on top of this, put a sentiment on top of this. Put a sentiment right on, just trim this out, put a sentiment right on top, stamp right in the middle of this baby. We did stamping, wait till you see the samples, they're amazing. So that's on the back of the translucent and that's on the front. Your color is more subdued, your color is more vibrant. Love the translucent paper, makes my heart happy. All right, so I'm gonna need to let this one sit for a little bit, but I think you get the idea of just how amazing and gosh, once it sits, you come back to it and it's like, wow, that looks good. So, what do we have? Hold on, I don't want these to I think they're all pretty much dry. What did we do today? We used a bunch of different products. We did. From the AALL Create, the stamps are so stinking cute. Love the fact that they've made them so you can interchange. These are absolutely darling. And the samples, the majority of the samples are made with these two sets. And then I played with the butterflies. And the I Want It All is, for this week, the I Want It All is those two stamp sets and these two stamp sets. We did the stencils as a separate I Want It All. And we've got beautiful samples made with the stencils. So you've got an I Want It All here, you've got an I Want It All there. Then on top of that, because I didn't just want to have a few of their stamps, I wanted a super nice collection of them. Okay, I need to get the girls are gonna walk in here and say, what did you do, Stacy? And I'm gonna say, I know, I'm sorry. Let me just push some of this out of my way. Okay, let me go back. All right, then because I wanted to have a really nice collection of their stamps, I brought in just some absolutely darling. These are all gonna be in the YouTube Yummy sale. And I've got samples made with all of them. Isn't that cute? I've got samples made with all of them. So it's up to you which AALL Create that you want to start to use and create with, that you want all of so that you can create. Look at that one. Big sets. Big sets. Remember, these are from the UK. They like big sets. But you get so much on it. Big sets. That's a card front right there. But you get so much on it. Love this one. So this is AALL and Create. The bundles are the I Want It All bundle for the stamps are the 2 sets here and the 2 sets here. There's your I Want It All for the bundle. The stencil, we have an I Want It All, or you can just buy one of the stencils, it's up to you. There you go. That's an I Want It All. Then we have, all of the alcohol inks. Now, if I was really great and I had put the lids on all of them, which I didn't, but we've got all the colors. The metallics, the opal, the white, this isn't all of them, I just haven't put the lids on all of them. We've got all the colors in an I Want It All, and if you get the I Want It All, you get a bottle of the extender and you get a bottle of the cleanup solution. That's in the I Want It All. Or you can pick and choose the colors you want, and if you would prefer, you can also get the larger bottle of extender or the larger bottle of the opal. Hello, larger bottle of opal. Anybody seen it? It was right here. Oh, opal. So, or you can just get one color at a time. Do you have to have these? If you have alcohol inks, no, you might want to use up what you have. Are these different? Totally. Are they more vibrant? Yes. Are they going to last longer? You bet. Are you going to have more options to play with them? Because you can take that color from super intense and really thin it on out. Yes, without using much of anything. So we have the I Want It All and the open stock on the Jacquard Piñata Alcohol Inks. Completely different than any alcohol ink we've ever used. We have, look at, they've got the little pipettes. We've got the pipettes. And they have the little syringes if you want syringes for your alcohol inks. And they've got little dauber tops if you want the little eyedropper tops if you want to use those, however you want to get them down. I love that they have all of these different items to use with your different inks. I just think it's marvelous. And then from Ozzy Andrew, we've got his blending tool, and we've got his little blower, and we've got the refills for the blending tool. Now the blending tool, we only have so many of. Those are kind of limited. And then we've got the papers, all of his alcohol ink type papers, from just a 5x7 type of Yupo paper to, you've got the larger size in white. I used the translucent today. The translucent is magic. This is self-adhesive paper. We've got the blacks. Can you imagine the metallics on the blacks? Oh my gosh. So all of that is part of the YouTube Yummies today. Okay, so let's show samples, because I have got, oh, I didn't even use those. Darn it, Stacy. Okay, well, I've got samples to show you, so let's get through those. So we just blew a little flower. And this is all on Ozzy Andrews paper, Couture Creations paper. These are the Jacquard Piñata Alcohol Inks. Here I've got the AALL Create Look at how cute is that. We did a heat emboss on it, so we let this dry entirely, then we stamped it with Versamark, and we very carefully did the embossing. Told you I love that big stamp. Isn't that fabulous? And James did this one. He did it on the translucent paper. Look at the vibrancy. He just dropped colors. He really just dropped colors. And then added the sentiment. I love this one. I didn't know he did it. And I'm like, somebody's got to make a sample with that one. That one's really, really good. And then they said, James did that one. Look at the kitty cat. And the meow. Big cards. They're from the UK. Look at the dog. That's a big dog. This is like an 8x8 card. And here we did the light bulb with the alcohol ink and the little fishy. And I just love that you can mix and match. Oh my gosh, this one's so cute. I love that you can mix and match these between the light bulb and the jar. Wow. Their stamps are fabulous. Now here, this is with the alcohol ink on a paintbrush. And we literally just flicked the brush. Flick the brush. It's alcohol ink on a paintbrush and then just flicked. And then look at this one. This is beautiful. You've got the light bulb, and then you've got the lighthouse coming out, and that's part of the stencil. They cut the stencil down. That looks great. I think, maybe? I'm not sure. Maybe that's part of the lighthouse. I love it though. And here just stamped. And look at how pretty. I have got oodles of samples. Look at this one. Even if you just did this, fabulous. Or if you just did this, fabulous. Okay, let's move to the next stack. That's the butterfly cut out. And here we use the stencil. Okay, so here we did the alcohol ink first. And it had drop, 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 drop. So we took their stencil and used alcohol ink carefully to stencil on top. Right? That's pretty cool. Oh my gosh, these are so pretty. They're so good. Oh, you had me at meow. And then look at this one with the alcohol ink. Oh, and look at the butterfly. Oh. These are great. And all done with the AALL Create stamps. So we have alcohol ink as the background because she didn't like it. She said she messed up underneath it, so she did it again. And nobody knows what's hidden underneath the mat. So she used it as a mat and then used the gold and then alcohol inked and then embossed. Wowee. I love this stamp. Here we have our light bulb with the fish. And our jar full of hearts. And our butterflies. And our owl with the little houses underneath. Isn't that cute? And then again, the stars and the moon come with the light bulb, but they put it right inside the jar. And here you've got some stenciling going on. I don't think that, I don't know if that's one of our, if one of those are, that's one of these stencils. I'm not thinking so. Are you inspired by the samples? Because they did an amazing job. Both AALL Create and the SMS girls did an amazing job. So this is what Claire wanted you to see. She layered the stencil right on top. She just put one of the stencils right on top with the stars, and she took an alcohol marker and she just went in there and used it and drew the stars right on with that stencil. Okay, almost done. One stack left. Oh, I have to show him. One stack left. So I showed you this one in the beginning. And I showed you this one in the beginning. And this one. And here we have with the lighthouse. And with the kitty cat. And the butterflies fussy cut out. And meow like no one's listening. And look at this. Where they found this, I have no idea, but what a great card. Amazing. Oh, and I love this one, Handle with Love. Look at that. Right? And look at this. Holy smokes, artichokes. Wow. And the last one, the best therapy has 4 legs. Absolutely true. All right, you guys. So it's me, Stacy, Scrapbooking Made Simple, scrapbookingmadesimple.com. I'm telling you, the Jacquard product is fine art quality alcohol ink at a holy smokes artichokes price. The fact that they used ethanol changed everything in those alcohol inks. And if you don't have any alcohol inks, you may want to start with these because you're starting with a higher quality of product. And so at a comparable price, I think they're $4.29, except for maybe the opal, I think, and then they're on sale at 20% off. So even if you just want to try them and play with them, or we have the I Want It All for it. But the alcohol inks are amazing. And then you pair them with some beautiful stamps from AALL Create. They are so clever. They've got so many different designers that they've got something for everybody. I wanted to buy their whole collection, but I can't afford it. But you'll see as we bring them in over the next months or years, you will see that they've got a little bit of something for absolutely everybody. And the quality, again, is stellar. So, where are you going to find all of this great product? Well, you might find AALL Create at several local retailers that you may have. They're becoming more and more available here in the United States. The Jacquard Alcohol Inks, you might want to try a fine art store if you want to pick them up versus shopping online. And if online is your only choice, well, we appreciate you shopping with us for sure. We certainly want you to shop with whomever makes your heart happy, whether that be us or somebody else, just so long as you keep creating. All right, you guys, it's me, Stacy, Scrapbooking Made Simple, scrapbookingmadesimple.com. Hoping that you enjoyed today, that you saw something, you learned something, you were inspired by something, and there was a takeaway moment for you that you're like, oh, yeah. Because when I looked at all of this, when I started putting this together, I'm like, oh, yeah. All right, you guys, I'll see you on Monday for our next Make It Monday. It is at 5 p.m. Sunny California time, 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern, when we have, I think, a $90 value for $19.99. Until then, I will see you later. Thanks, everybody. Again, me, Stacy, Scrapbooking Made Simple, scrapbookingmadesimple.com. And thanks for live chatting all this time with me if you were part of the live chat. I really appreciate it. Bye.